My name is BahamutX, and we are going to speedrun River City Girls. I'm really excited to show off this game. It's relatively new. It just came out last September, and it's been really fun speedrunning this game. So we have a bid war for which language I'm going to play this game in. Do we have a winner?
Winner is French,
It
beating
is.
out Japanese by $1.
By $1. All right. Hey, that's cool. I've heard we got some donations from our international streams. That's awesome. All right, I shall play this in French, and I just make sure that stayed. Yep, cool. All right, so I'm gonna start the timer when I press the button here. So do I do a countdown then, or?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, I'll be ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, everybody. This is River City Girls. It is developed by WayForward. They've been around for, I think, at least over 20 years, and they've done a bunch of games. But recently, I'd say they're more known for their Shantae games. But they've done some other fun games, like if anyone remembers the DuckTales Remaster, that was them. That was a very fun game. So this River City Girls. What's fun about this game is it's similar to an old game, if people remember, called River City Ransom. I forget the name in Japanese, but it is a reversal of the original one. The original one, you had Kunio and Riki, and Riki's girlfriend, Mami, is kidnapped. And this is reversed. We got Kyoko and Sako, and their boyfriends Kunio and Riki are kidnapped.
So what's the plan?
So it's a very nice reversal. I like. That's one reason I got it. It's like, hey, it's cool.
Whoever took 'em. Good plan. Thanks.
So this is the first cage fight. So the game locks you in certain screens to a fight where you have to clear all of the enemies. Throughout the run, you'll see a couple of these. So we can skip a couple of them, but generally you just have to beat these enemies as fast as possible. And it's all about just execution, because generally the enemy movement is semi-random. You can manipulate it sometimes, but you just have to adapt on the fly.
Yeah, very much so. And there are some screens that we can skip, and there's different ways we can skip them, and I will explain them as we come across
I wonder
them.
who sent us that text message. Yeah, huh? Check your phone, Kyoko.
And it's behind us here. There's a Sabu statue, and Sabu was the last boss of the original Kunio-kun game. There was a bunch of I call it the Kunio-kun universe, and the very first game was released in the United States and Europe, but it was called Renegade. And because back in the 80s and 90s, when they westernized games, they changed names and even changed graphics and stuff. But in the original game, which was the first Kunio-kun game, here is Mami and Hasabe. Back to explain here. Sabu was the original first boss. He is the leader of Yakuza gang.
Welcome, students. Today,
And there's a lot of dialogue in this game. We skip all cutscenes and all dialogue. The only dialogue that plays is the banter between Misako and Kyoko, which even if you aren't playing as with Kyoko and Misako, they'll show up on top of the screen. This is a two-player game, so you can't play this game with a friend if you have a local co-op.
find someone.
Some nice RNG here with these cheerleaders that keep blocking.
Yeah, no one likes the cheerleaders.
Oh no, they seem to block a lot. They all block, but cheerleaders seem to block a lot.
Downstairs.
The most, I should say.
Let's sit through the front. Great plan.
A little bit of foreshadowing in that the puberty room. If you're paying attention to the dialogue, it's interesting dialogue to say the least.
You know how I accidentally pick someone up there? That is not on purpose. What happens is when the enemy is dazed, you can pick them up and throw them around and hit them. But when you're speedrunning, you don't want to do that because that's not very efficient. So I try to avoid doing that if I can.
Yeah, the button for interact is also the button for most of the combat, like the light move, which makes movement and doing things like that where it's like, I don't want to pick up this enemy, but the game said if you press at the same time, they'll pick it up anyways.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of that dual use there where they can get in the way of things. So you kind of notice here, I'm trying to my best here to group these enemies up together, because that is one thing we can do early in the game before we get more abilities is, get more groups together, or more people together, more damage you do. One thing you'll also notice is that right now there isn't many moves, but we get new moves by leveling and also mostly dojos. And the one I'm taking advantage of some is the foot stomp, like so. And the thing is one thing you can do to help group them together is if you stomp them on the outside, see how it kind of moves them in a certain direction, that can help group them together just a little bit.
And we'll also mention this now. So he's destroying these statues. There's, what, 25 of them throughout the game. And if you destroy all of them, you get to the secret boss. And that is an incentive at the moment for this run. If we do meet it, we'll have to collect them now, so that if we do meet it, we'll have to backtrack and get them.
I actually have been trying to get them, so that's extra incentive to like, hey, I'm getting all the statues, so hey, make the incentive and it'll just show the secret boss with the alternate ending, which I like. So get those money, get those donations in.
Oh well, at least she'll stop.
Some very nice foreshadowing here.
Nice little
principle.
Oh yes, very much so.
Game's very subtle.
Yeah, because right now we're trying to escape the school here because we gotta find the boyfriends, and it kind of, there's like a pattern of like we go to one place and like, oh no, they might be in Crosstown, oh they might be in Uptown, and it kind of go from there. This is our first boss, Suzu, and like most of the bosses of the game, they're actually previous Kuni-kun games. And you'll notice here I did a kick. Actually, I messed it up a little bit. And actually what I was trying to do there was a light kick and then basically a cycle. It's a main cycle is 3 light hits and then a heavy. And if I'd done that right, I would have gotten all of the first bar of health in the first shot or cycle.
Yeah, so the cycles on these bosses, they're mostly predictable. There's a couple bosses where it's more random than others. Mizuzu is kind of simple, but the combos are still kind of difficult to land. But if you get them, it like saves a lot of time. You'll see he's walking across these bars here. Mizuzu does a charge, and then she does that animation where she like flexes. During that animation, you can punch her, and then she like blocks her, and you can finish her off like that.
And that is Mizuzu. She's the was it the school defense force to prevent kids from leaving the school.
Not doing too good of a job. So I'm developing like a guide for this game because I wanted to improve the guide. I'm like, this entire section up to the next boss is a lot of menuing.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So nice to get out of that crappy school. For sure. Wanna go see
Something
him
you'll
speak?
notice I do
We're looking
sometimes,
for our
especially in the early
boyfriends,
game here.
remember?
I actually do it through the entire game. Is if I can't take them down in one cycle, I go to the other side of them because they'll tend to like try to hit you as soon as they get up. And so if you go to the other side, you can lower that chance of them doing a counterattack on you. And just kind of go the cycle, go to the other side. So see how I go to the other side here.
Yeah, I like to, as soon as they get up, after you've, so like the timing here is like 3 stomps. You get 3 stomps before they get up, always. Like they'll even wait for you to do the 3rd stomp. But as soon as they get up, they might hit you, and it's basically random. You can block them, but it's easier to go to the other side.
Right on. So next we're going to come to Godai, and you will see him a lot. He's you can see he's kind of creepy. He was one of, I believe he was an optional boss in River City Ransom, and the Western name was Tex, I believe.
What you need?
So we're gonna go to these stores and we get to eat these different foods. The first time you eat the food, you get a nice stat boost, but afterwards it's just replenishing stamina.
Get in my dojo and fight me. Deadly.
And we got our first ability here called the Nutcracker, and that's going to do a lot of our juggling, which is one of the ways we save time.
More customers.
So he's getting he's gonna buy things for this, but also you need a double Merv burger for the quest with Godai. You also notice that like I said, mentioned earlier, that the same button for interact is the same button for light attack. You can do two things to like circumvent punching, like punching before either while you're moving or when you go to enter a door and you're just a little off. You can do it like hold it down after you've punched an enemy, and it like maintains that press. So when you walk over to something to interact, it'll like do the interaction. You can also, as you enter a room, you can hold it down, and as you walk through the room, it'll maintain that like action buffer, and then you can just walk through other doors. Saves a bunch of time. Animation canceling, basically.
So we took out our guys. We got a burger for Good Eye. We're gonna head back here.
You just did it perfectly right there.
Thank you.
Can I read a few donations?
Absolutely.
Sure.
All right, we got $33 from
Here's your
Norimaki
burger.
SR saying, "Yo, Bahamut, good luck on the RCG run. Thanks for running with Best Girl. Take out all the bosses on me." And that hit the goal for all bosses.
Oh wow! Awesome.
Oh,
Woohoo!
awesome.
Thank you so much for the donation.
And then $33 from Chris saying, "Hey, BahamutX, this is your coworker turning in for your run. Been fun hearing about your progression in this and other games. Enjoy your run and best of luck."
Thank you so much for the donation, Chris. I think I know which Chris that is. We came across that was Hiroshi, and he is in previous Kunio-kun games was Kunio's best friend, and it was actually one of the plot points in the original game. He was kidnapped in Renegade. All right, so I'd mentioned about skipping rooms here, and one of them is, this is actually probably, I would say, the hardest one in the game. Basically, I'm going to use a turbo speed juice here, and if we run to the next room and go as fast as we can, we're going to get into a door before it closes.
That must be his house.
It didn't go fast enough there.
That's really hard to get.
It is. It's the hardest one. We call it the Patterson skip because the guy in there, his name is Patterson, and he's currently asleep. And he's a security guard to the mall because we're trying to get inside the mall. And so as we call it, because that's his house. And we're going to go pick up the key without him waking up because there's a bunch of toys on the ground. So I get through some guys here.
So you can see a really good. This is majority of the combat from now on will be this juggling motion. This is currently the best way of dealing with enemies, is where you can like stun lock them so that they can't hit you and you can do the most amount of damage.
Also kind of notice that like right now when I do juggling, I sometimes have to put a little bit of a run in because you're so slow that you can't constantly juggle right now.
Yeah,
The keys.
Get out of my house!
I knew I was going to do that once. So I just basically jump across the...
Get out of my house!
if I have to, I'll do the backup strat. I basically am trying to jump across these toys here.
got it.
There we go!
There you go. First try.
And that's, I will say, like, it took me a while to get that down, even just practicing. I mean, I've been doing it for a while, but I've had trouble sometimes. And actually, I'm going to say something here. I've been doing speed runs for a little while, but I've mostly been doing a game called Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. It's a randomizer. I love this game, yes. And I thought, like, if I'm going to speed run a vanilla game, it's going to be like Final Fantasy IV or some RPG. No, it's a genre that I generally am not very good at, and it's beat-em-up games. And the reason why I got into this was like, River City Ransom on the NES was a game I loved as a kid. I wasn't very good. I never beat it. And when I heard about this game, I'm like, it's time to get good at a beat-em-up game. So I picked it up, and it took a while to like not be bad at it. But once I got kind of like decent, I'm like, let's speed run this, and that's how I got here. So now, especially if, since we made the incentive, I should remember all the statues, but if I go past one, let me know.
Will do.
And a couple more turbo juices here, because we're going to use one, keep one for later.
Nice one. Okay. Drop
So
by
now we got the
anytime.
key to get inside the mall.
We got the keys.
Hello, Hiroshi.
See?
Nice.
We got a turbo juice. There's, you know how like I accidentally picked up a bench there, and that's because I'm just going. Well, I'm going to say it a little bit later because I got a little trick here. I'm going to explain first.
Oh, hey, Hiro.
In that last room, he skipped the cage fight, just by walking at the bottom of the screen.
Yep, that's like one of the easiest ones to do.
I love that one. It's like, well, this works.
Oh my. With pleasure.
And now this is another easy one. We have to go back to the left, and there's this locked room. One of the easiest way to skip a locked room is if you save and reset, it'll put you at the beginning of that room. And since we need to go left, we just go back to left. It's one of the many save and resets we'll be doing.
Yes, the cage fight in the middle of the room. Just skip it entirely.
Yep. Okay, good. A couple times I've didn't go down hard enough, and so I've actually been caught there a couple times. And I think I'll say, yep. So there was a recent patch about a month and a half ago that WayForward did, and there were some good things it did, and there's a couple things that not so good, at least for speedrunning. And probably my biggest grief is that they changed how you go inside doors. You used to be able to just touch the door and you'd go inside. Now there's like not a minute, sorry. Feels like a minute. About a second and a half wait before you can get inside the door. You have to press and hold the door. And for casual play, I totally get it, because the same button to do a light attack is the same button to talk to NPCs and go to doors. But because of that, when you're speedrunning, it adds a little bit of time each time you talk to most of the PCs and also go through the doors. Which that in itself is a little extra time, but also if you're trying to open a door, you can also get attacked by enemies while trying to open the door. And there are a few places in the game where that is very likely, if you're not careful. One more thing I'll say about these stores is that you'll notice that I'm not getting all of the food. And that's because there are many different stats. There's strength, stamina, agility, and so on. And we mostly just care about strength and agility. And the other ones we don't care about so much. So that saves us a little bit of time.
My name's not...
It's time to take on Yabada, a.k.a. Magic Boy.
My favorite line in the game right here.
Ladies.
Ladies.
So Yamada, especially for those who are our Japanese viewers, is they can correct me if I'm wrong, it is the last boss from the original River City Ransom, is Yamada. So you get to see him. Whoop. There we go. Oh, jeez. Come on. No running. There we go. So a basic cycle here is knock him in the air a bunch of times, and then when he goes to the ground, he's going to teleport behind you and try to Hadouken on you. And as long as you're on him, you want to be as aggressive as you can. And see if I can make him skip the... Yep, there we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's kind of a trick that I'm not consistent at. Basically, if I had let him, he would have summoned some items that they can hit you. And if you do timed it well enough, you can prevent that from summoning. And there's another one here in the next phase that you can also prevent if you timed it well. Which saves a little time, saves a little energy. If it happens, there'll be let's see if I can get it to stop. Nope, you missed it, that one. See the little laser on the ground. And the thing is, if you let it happen, or actually if you let it happen right away, it doesn't do that much damage. But if you let it chase you around, it does a lot more damage. So you just, if you can't avoid it, just take the hit and just move on.
Nice.
That's Yamada.
Me playing casually, this is by far my least favorite boss.
Least favorite? Oh, for
Yeah.
casually? It can be frustrating. Like he counters, somewhat, if you're not aggressive enough.
Well, what you don't realize is that you can just walk behind him and punch him in the back and
Oh.
avoid that Hadouken attack.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you just don't know. You can't block it like with the block. So
So now we're gonna do a speed off to the left here. And did I get the statue inside the mall? I don't think I did. We're gonna go inside there quick.
did you?
Oops. We got some accessories here. And let's go check here. It's right here. I don't think I did.
It's on the left. No. Okay. Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
You had one job. No, it's okay. But I do know there's one on top of here. And also I know there's a point where there's 13 statues, and that's after the next boss, so that'll help. And we're going to get a couple more abilities here. We're going to flip, which is going to start doing more damage here.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that is, if you recognize, that is Billy and Jimmy Lee from Double Dragon. One of the many Double Dragon references in this game.
Got it.
Is his brother in the other dojo?
He is, yes.
That's what I thought.
Yep. As you see, we picked up a couple more turbo juices. And if we had, for doing the regular game, I would have picked up 3. But there's later in the game where I've really used 1, but because we got some statues to get, it's not really efficient to get another turbo juice.
Of course, turbo juice moves you faster, which is great for a speedrun.
Oh, exactly. Yep. But when you gotta, like, you know, walk around a bunch of different places, it kind of defeats the purpose of this, the turbo juice. And one thing you kind of notice, like how I move the box out of the way, we do that a lot because just like a lot of things, just like, you know, like the light punch, picking up enemies, the same button is to pick up items, and we don't want to do that. It's fun when you're doing casual play, but doing speedruns, no, we want to avoid that.
Can't stunlock an enemy if you're holding a box.
Exactly.
And like that there too.
Here's a nice little
So
spin.
this is Uptown, huh?
Ah, messed that up. I went a little too far. Oh, I don't want to do that.
See?
Just gonna try again.
Pretty
Yep.
fancy.
Go for it. So you can skip this cage fight. It's kind of precise. So we're gonna give it another go. Good menuing.
Thank you. Do enough times, you kind of get a little fast. Basically, I get just get down to the crease. Come on. That's actually, I'm usually good at this one. We got this. Next time. There we go. That should do it.
Nice. First try.
And I'm going to get kicked in the face.
I got another mission.
I hope I don't get... I've been kicked into the room before.
I think you're fine. Oh, nice. Nice.
Because I've been kicked back into the room. This is another one we can skip. It's
Yeah.
basically go behind her, but because I'm going to do the all bosses run, I have to go in a room up there. There's an arcade. And unfortunately, coming out of the arcade makes this unavoidable. But this is actually harder than the one before.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get it consistently yet.
Yeah, he was working, one of the speedrunners, Jotun, he's working on trying to figure out why this one works. Sometimes that vending machine has a hitbox, and sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't,
Really?
If it has a hitbox, and it like rubs you against it, and then you can, it like helps you skip the run, this cage fight faster. But haven't been able to figure out exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, Jolton is one of, I'd say somewhat newer to our community, but he spent so much time on this, and he's doing really good. He's actually, I think he has, does he have the second best time?
Second place.
And we're going to pick up a statue in here. If I can jump on top here. There we go. There is a statue off screen. Got the statue, save reset, puts us in the beginning of the room. Which, if you kind of noticed already, for the most part, if you mess up a skip, you can almost always save and reset and try again. It also helps a lot when you want to get a statue, run back out, which we'll be doing a few more times too.
Normally you don't do that room, but we're doing, we got the all bosses and the secret boss, so we're going to go in there and get that statue.
Item get.
Ooh, congrats.
Continue.
5, 4, 3.
And you notice there we ate some Famicom games, and I do have enough. There we go.
Welcome.
We're going to eat, whoop, not that one, can't afford that one. Eat an alarm clock, which really helps with next boss.
Yeah, I should mention, you can buy a bunch of food in the game and drinks as well. Regardless of what you buy, it makes the eating sound.
Exactly. It's like, okay, I'm eating a game, sure.
Yeah, yeah, the game cartridges. So do what you will with that information.
Oh, whoopsie. Good to see Hop saving Mommy again. And I remember there was actually another statue at back of level. We'll do it before we head down the elevator shaft. Not the shaft, but down the stairs.
We're so poor.
Yeah, we don't get to go down the elevator shaft.
No, it's, yeah.
Maybe we can trade him something. Like a knuckle sandwich. How you're talking.
I blocked, but it came from the other side. See, yeah, these.
Cheerleaders, the worst enemy in the game.
I know our friend Jolton doesn't like them. And also, you kind of notice that when they're begging, if you're playing casually, you can recruit them and they'll help you later in the game. But there isn't really much use for them. But what's also kind of annoying is that the hitbox becomes smaller. It's hard to hit them when they're begging.
Because generally you just want to be juggling the enemies. It's much faster. And also the point at which they start begging is random. Or like, I mean, you have to do some damage, right? But like, it's inconsistent, so it's usually faster to just like beat them up and finish it off the rest of their health.
Looks pretty empty. We have to head downstairs.
So now we got a bunch of levels to get through here.
Can we take the elevator?
So if you got any, is there any donations?
Oh, wait, it's broken. I'm not used to walking.
We were walking down.
Yeah, we got some time here to kill. We're gonna do a bunch of levels. No, I don't want to pick them up. No. There we go.
No new donations yet.
That's all right.
But just a reminder that all of your donations go to support Carbon Fund.
Carbon Fund's great. They're doing it's for a great cause, and we're here to raise money for charity. So it's a good all around show.
Whining and keep fighting.
Now let's see if these boys here, they like to pick up the there.
12, 3.
It's not very fun when they pick up the baseball bat because just how I mentioned. Let's see if I can avoid picking up the baseball bat.
Nice.
And I did. Woohoo! The backflip can help you avoid doing that. It's the because it's the not A button. That's NES or SNES. I keep thinking on SNES because there's the different PlayStation and Xbox, and I still think in Super Nintendo ABXY.
We talk about the controls a little bit. You're playing with the PlayStation controller, right?
I play with the PlayStation 2 controller. Yeah, it's connected to the PC. There's a little emulator you can have it connect to play through the PC. And I grew up on this style of controller, and I like this size. You saw that room there. There's a bunch of healing items, but because we're speed running, you just skip by it. Even for low health, nah, don't need all healing items.
Everyone's always punching and kicking each other. Like everywhere we
Yeah,
go.
we take damage. You take some damage, but you heal every time fully when you level up, and every time you buy a health item, it like heals you. So
Exactly. So we kind of rely on that. Usually, as long as you're careful, you usually don't get in trouble with health. Come on, there's the next group.
I do want to mention, I play this game casually with the Xbox controller, but in theory, optimally, the game you play with the keyboard, but the keyboard controls are interesting to say the least.
I haven't played keyboard, but I know some of the top times on speedrun.com are keyboard.
Yeah. It's just because like the movement's a little easier, I'd say.
Okay.
And you get some of the precise things. But since you can't remap any of the controls, you get kind of stuck with what they got. And what? I don't want to like start talking about that. They're just interesting.
Gotcha. See, hitbox. I will say one nice little piece of information. One of the, I think he's, if the internet's correct, the assistant director, and I'm blanking on his name, was actually also the director of River City Underground, which was a fan game that came out a few years ago. I just found that out recently, like, oh, cool. Yeah, River City Underground was involved in this game. That's very cool. Now we're down here. Got a statue over here. Get our fake gold cat statue from Skeletor.
Skeletor.
Exactly, yeah.
Nobody beats my
Yeah, exactly, yes.
Excellent.
The way you say it, yeah, it does sound like him a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Move it, Kyoko.
it's technically not
Joker.
Skeletor, but
Ever say that.
There we go.
nice. And more backstory that we're skipping.
Yep. Basically, it's kind of how Kyoko and Masako met. Okay, we got her. Oh, that's the game I need
Isn't
to
he
play.
I'm pretty sure he's from Double Dragon.
Oh, the Skeletor
The
like you got?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I'm just gonna refer to him as Skeletor because. Anyways.
There's a cheerleader being all blocky again. Come on. And I believe there's a, excuse me, there's a skip you can do, I believe, if you knock the first set off the ground, it'll prevent the second one from coming. I think I've seen it happen, but I haven't tried to work on it myself.
Yo, lady! Here's a golden cat.
Nice.
Yes, I want to explain it afterwards because that's not a hard one, but you gotta be careful about it. And this is a nice little side effect that happens sometimes when you skip a room. The time it happens, the lock is still there, but it's not a lock.
Yes, it's just for this one. The Hibari skip. So you skip that this cage fight before this fight happens, and you can skip it like you just showed it perfectly. Good job. So Hibari has like her attacking and then her like vulnerable phase where she throws the needle around. The needle needs to rebound twice to hit her. Like she has the particle field and it has to bound once and bound twice. If you're playing casually, it doesn't lock on until it like right before it throws. So like if you're normally when you like these things happen, it's like as soon as you see it stop moving, like you're like, okay, cool, it's gonna go that way. But like if you keep moving, it'll follow you and then hit you. And if it hits you, then you don't get like that opportunity to do damage to Hibari. Yeah, and you can also jump across the walls and just punch her, and it two punches and it knocks her down.
There we go. I'm having a little trouble with the controls a little bit. You probably see it like I'm trying to do a hit and I'm not connecting a little bit. So in between these phases, she sends out these needles and thread, and the thread explodes afterwards. And if you're familiar with Bullet Hell games, she kind of looks like a Bullet Hell boss, and she's sending out those things there. Good time that climb, right?
These girls that get spawned here, they go down in 3 hits, but they're just annoying. If they hit you, you kind of miss your opportunity to do damage to Hibari.
Yep. They could be annoying when you knock her down, but then they're still around. And what you want to do is, if I was able to hit her from above, I have a greater chance of getting him over stage in one cycle. Yeah, she can be annoying sometimes, and usually better at this boss than this.
Yeah, sometimes the mechanics in the game, they're a little more finicky than usual. This boss in particular is on a 2D plane.
Yeah.
Most of the game is like 2D, 3D. You can only move left and right, up,
Right.
instead of like back and forth. So all your attacks will hit, except when they don't.
And actually, they ran into the thread there, so.
Yeah, looking a little rough here.
Let's see if I can avoid this. This is hard. You know, this is. Let's try here.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so he leveled up and
Oh.
healed the full HP. So we were a little worried.
Me too.
But
Thank you.
it's all good. Oh, nice. There we are.
Oh man, that's I didn't realize this boss is tough on a marathon. I will blame RNG. That's RNG's fault. Yep.
Sounds good.
Oh,
Yeah. Hibari, I like the boss, but it's
Oh
just
yeah, it's now we got a couple more statues here. This is another one. If we were playing this casually, this is the secret, the tunnel. But we just want the statue and we're gonna get out of here. Almost got the statue here. There we go.
I guess I'll touch on the death mechanic in this game a little bit. It's pretty brutal casually. So if you die, what happens is you just lose a good portion of your money. I can't remember the exact percentage, but I mean it'll just reset the boss fighter or the room that you are on, and then like take a chunk off of your money total.
Yep.
For speedrunning, it doesn't matter too much. It'll set you behind, but technically we can beat all the bosses without buying things.
All right, here comes a tricky statue. I'm gonna concentrate here. Hey, we got it. Whew. I mentioned Godai. He's in that little trash there. If I had set off that side quest, that would potentially add on several minutes to the run, because he adds on several locked rooms. So I'm glad I got that.
That's nice work. Yeah, things like that. Like, they showed it in Uptown where there's like that little pixel basically to walk on. There's a lot of precise things in this run, in this game in general as a speed
look,
run.
it's a kid.
So stuff like that's really impressive. Cool.
Run. There we go. Oh. All right.
Yes, can I help you? Okay. Understood. What else?
Hey, does that say baguettes?
Yes.
It does. Hey, it's a good thing that French won. I wouldn't get that reference, huh? Good job, French restreamer.
Walk to the wall.
Is
Yep.
this the subway terminal?
Just gotta activate
Blocked
the
by trash.
dialogue there.
Why is trash everywhere?
It's a very dirty city, and it's downtown.
What up, lady?
So we got this guy. He like forgot his gear, lost his keys. They said, "Oh, it's down in the trash,"
We're going to
and
climb
we gotta
inside
catch some
the
trash
compactor.
zombies.
Seems that way.
Yeah, you know, zombies.
Fight smelly zombies surrounded by.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally, it does. I mean, you got a Magic Boy.
Any
He
more
does
grubs?
magic, so
Still
zombies
early.
has got to be in this universe, right?
I can't believe
That's
we're
how it
fighting
works.
zombies
Oh,
in
definitely.
a trash compactor. Wanna give up? For my Ricky?
This one's pretty simple. It's just like you just punch them once and then they go away. It's just about clearing it.
Yep. And it's pretty easy. And I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna wait a little bit because I don't want to jinx myself. I believe this is the last one.
It should be.
What I wanted to avoid talking was like I have yet to lose there, but it's a matter. But it's like it's gonna happen someday. I just didn't want to jinx myself.
Here.
Yeah, a little difficult to lose there.
It is.
But yeah, I mean anything can happen. Right?
Yeah, in a marathon, like it shouldn't, but in marathon you shouldn't jinx yourself, no matter what it is.
Come on. Let's find
So
out if
next
it's
boss
the
here,
one with your-
if you're a Double Dragon fan, you should recognize him, and he was also you heard him at the beginning of the game a little bit.
So what are
It's
you?
none other than Abobo from a Double Dragon.
Yeah, spin move. You can go from any direction. It's not whatever he's facing. Like it'll just fly towards you, like that. But he just smashes them with relative ease.
It's time to Hulk out. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like he said that.
Nice.
Yeah, if you time it well enough, you can actually get all of his first cycle health in one shot. In one cycle, I should say. That should do it. I'm gonna let him. He's gonna want to catch me. I'm gonna let him catch me because we have some nice health. That's interesting. Went like one into the other. I'm not sure if I've seen that before.
Just gonna make it look easy, you know, no big deal.
I will say I was talking about the patch. I believe there was one change. Bobo used to be a lot harder. At least you couldn't juggle him. Yeah, but hardly at all in the previous patch. So they made Bobo easier.
It's very kind of them.
Yeah. Although I think casually though he's probably still not. He's still probably difficult casually. But play this enough times, you kind of know their patterns. You know what to do and stuff. So.
Something in the game that doesn't like outwardly explain to you, which helps you casually if you're playing this game, is you can just buy health items and then just use them during boss fights, and just beat the boss fight, no problem. It's like, oh, I took damage. Okay, and they heal to full HP.
And that's another locked room. You just run across and you miss it. And this locked room is, I think they're making it better with patches, but it's locked and there's a ceiling, and it's there, but it's consistent. It feels inconsistent, but I feel like it's gotten a little bit better because I know they're patching the game. So it's a little difficult not to juggle in this room, so it's kind of chaotic.
It's our first Terminator.
At least when we come across, there was, if I missed some locked rooms, I would come across some.
Yeah. Technically, it's called. I think the game refers to it as a cyborg.
Okay, but
It's basically Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's
from
such,
the Terminator.
yeah. If you listen to it, you'll hear his grunts.
Here, hold on. Yeah.
And that guy with the hammer, he hits hard. And something I haven't... Oh, by the way, the woman in the center, also another Double Dragon reference. She's Linda from Double Dragon.
Also not cooperating very well.
Like I said, this room's a little difficult. There we go.
Alright, here's another skip you can do. Another cage fight. You just have to jump on that and walk across, and you can skip the cage fight.
Maybe someone there knows where they are.
It's pretty precise.
Let's enlighten.
Although I'd say it's easier than any of the Uptown skips.
Stinky.
You did it good? No
Thank you.
problem.
And I think we're good on statues. That's 21. I think we're good. 23, 24, 25 minutes. Yep, I think we're good. So I just kind of caught in my head the statues. I think we skipped any. Up here, we're actually going to do a save reset, but it's not because of a locked room. It's because there's a long dialogue, and if we don't save and reset, you have to wait for the dialogue to finish in order for the door to open. So save a little bit of time, but for the most part, you can truncate dialogue, but there is one exception, which we'll come across here soon.
So that's the fish room.
Yep.
There's a cage fight in the middle of that room.
Yep. It's not it doesn't happen yet. It'll be when I come back, but I always do it back and forth to practice. I like uppercutting. I had that time so well. I was going to do a nice backflip and then uppercut. Oh no! I was looking at my health. Oh no. Okay. Well, it just resets the room here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if I hadn't realized what my health was, I would have picked up some food, but that's all right. We didn't lose too much time.
Classic marathon luck, you know.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. That's what I hear. And this is my first ever marathon.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. Except for the Hibari fight. Nope, we don't want tear gas. Nope, nope, nope. But definitely as the game gets towards the end here, the enemies do hit a lot harder.
Yeah, we've analyzed like people have pulled out the code. It's based on the acts, which are after you beat each boss. And after you beat each boss, each enemy gets extra health, extra damage.
Is that even like the previous mobs?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, oh. You got your charger?
I do. It's
Go grab that real quick.
I forgot to plug that in. It is should be. I put my. Oh, it's over there up to the right. So sorry, you guys. Yes, the charger's in there.
I'll hold this just in case.
Okay, thank you. That's the other side. Oops.
Now, I'll take this time to mention, so this game ends up being really speedrunner friendly because you can save, you can recreate save files. Like we have access to the save file folder, which lets us, you can copy saves from other people. You can also make your own saves, and you can just replay the same boss fights over and over again. Also try and set before runes, which just allows us to, upcoming, there's a skip where we can walk around this fish room, right? And it can soft lock the game if you do it incorrectly.
Yep, I'll definitely explain that when we get there.
But we have a backup save, which lets us do that. You can just copy that save if you.
Oh, it's actually a previous one that I did a save of.
Yeah.
There we go. We are on track for our statues. And a little bit, or we talked to the concierge. Basically, he has tickets, but he won't, give them out unless we prove that her Noise's best fans.
What were the 3 questions again? Noise's favorite drink. Food. Also. Look, it's Kaori.
And made the jump.
Nice.
All right.
A little more.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back out here quick because that's a locked room, and the thing is, because you had just mentioned, if I get caught in the locked room, I have to do it.
Hey, check out that sign.
Got it. Whew. That's gotten a little tricky because of the recent
Great,
patch.
I'm starving.
Yeah, just a little bit movement to the left there, and it locks the game.
Yeah, locks the game, and you're forced to do the fight. But if I had saved and reset during the dialogue, it would have soft locked the game.
Electric. See you
Noise's
around.
favorite food. Hey, mine too. Question answered. Come on.
There we go. Now we got one more piece of information we need. It's like, no, I need to save reset. There we go.
The game has a lot of forced menu options and menuing, where the game pops up something. It's like, here, learn about this mechanic, and then it forces you, like that one, it'll force you to open it, and then it closes it. It's like you don't even get the option of having the menu already open.
Off to the right, jump down, avoid the room.
Nice.
There we go. Now I'm gonna use the. Actually, I think I'm gonna use the other ones to get out of the way because I would have used one earlier, but I decided not to.
You can use it to jump over the trash compactor.
Yeah, I just wanted to make some room for my inventory room.
May I help you?
So now we've proved we're Noise's favorite fans, and we got our VIP tickets to see if the boyfriends are at the concert.
Yeah, and we have to keep going that same way every time, especially like, even in this room, because they're still there. The cage fights still exist, so we just have to avoid it every single time. Nice.
We got VIP.
That is a Boromov from Double Dragon 2, I believe. So we are going to actually change one of our accessories here. We're going to get some more attack power by changing out some agility, because we're plenty fast now. We can get some more power. So Noise here, I believe she's one of the new characters for the Kunio-kun, and she's actually connected to Kyoko. You'll see if you watch that cutscene. When Moises joined the school, she was very shy, and Kyoko made friends with her. But then she felt abandoned when Kyoko left her, but that's only because Kyoko got suspended for stealing basketball hoops. So Noise is like, I feel betrayed. I'm going to become a rock star now. So
You ever played with a Guitar Hero?
yep, I like to call it the reverse Guitar Hero. They're trying to avoid the notes. And a little more careful, I can miss them all. It's not too difficult if you pay attention. It's easy to jump over 1 and 2. It's a little harder to jump over 3. But as long as you don't cut yourself or tap yourself on the left or right, you can avoid them.
This fight's a little tricky.
Yeah, this is one that I need more practice on.
You can get there's a couple of tricks and tries you can do optimally. There's been murmurings that you can one cycle Noise.
Yeah.
I want to see that, but there's a couple things you can do optimally. I'm sure as we develop the run a little more, some of these things will be easier.
Most definitely. I've definitely seen some different techniques, and one of them I've tried, I haven't been able to get down, is there's another accessory you can change out. It's called the Frill Bra, and what that does is it increases the amount of time that you're invulnerable. And I think it might have been a Japanese runner who actually used that. Basically, you time it so that you hit almost the last note, and then you're basically invulnerable enough to just hit her while she's doing her landed ability and take them out in one cycle. So, but I haven't been able to do that though.
It's basically you can just damage her the entire time during this animation.
Right, exactly. Her third phase will be a little faster though.
You can see all the things happening on screen. It kind of makes this a little difficult to track.
Yeah, those fans are a bit annoying. They do a little bit of damage. It's hard to hit them, and I got myself caught there because I was in between the notes and the fans there. All right.
Soundtrack is banging.
I love the soundtrack.
Also, I do love the art in this game. You can look to the top left side of the screen. You'll see a dude having the time of his life. He's got nice big eyes. It's a good one. Little touches like that.
See if I can avoid using food here. There we go.
Nice.
See, faster third phase.
Yeah.
I get the third phase is a lot easier. Basically, Noise is like, oh, your boyfriends are here, but if they're kidnapped, they're probably at the Sabu Tower.
It becomes a recurring theme where you beat it, you get one piece of information, you go to the next boss, and they're like, no, they're not here.
Yeah, and we're going to be a little marathon safe. We're going to get some more food, get some more lasagnas.
Ah, it's you. Wicked. Sweet.
That should be
See
good.
you around.
I think this needs 4 or 5. That should be enough. Knock on wood. There should be plenty. Oh, I missed the jump there. There's a little bit of a ceiling, but if you time it well, you can just jump on top of that there. Now we're going to go on to the last section here, which is the Sabu Tower.
Come on, let's get to that tower and find our boyfriends. Oh look, it's those girls.
Yep, it's those girls again.
Everyone in this game is very aggressive towards each other. There's a comment when you're climbing the tower, Kyoko's like, why is everyone in our town so violent?
Yeah.
And Misako's like, I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, it's normal in this universe. It's like, yeah, people fight each other. What's so off about that? There's that fun hitbox again.
Yeah, I don't think about it too much. I feel bad for some of the NPCs, like when that noise quest. Some NPCs where you're like, they're trying to have a conversation with you, and you're like, no. Like, not even if you're just skipping the conversation, like in the conversation, written in the dialogue. It's like, oh, it's a little harsh.
Yeah, there's a nice easy skip.
Recipe's lying
Up
right
on top
beside
here
them.
and off to the right.
But obviously, those
Skips another cage fight.
Yep.
Misako, my knuckles are hurting. Yeah, so are my knees. Where do you think Kunio and Ricky are?
Notice I'm kind of jumping into
This
the air.
Sabu
It's
guy's
because
got
there
him.
is a statue up
Lazar
there.
in his penthouse. Guess we're going up.
Once you finish the locked room, you'll see it, but I don't want to wait till then. I just get it from down here. Actually, if I can explain that, you know how they did the big punch there? That is also not intentional. It does a little more damage, but there's a big recoil and you're vulnerable while you come back from it.
The 7 moves you unlock naturally, and there's other moves that you can buy in the dojo. The Haymaker, which is the one that he's talking about, not something that we use in the run.
Right.
And if you hit it accidentally, it's like, you know, it just loses some time.
Yeah, but you can get hit while you're coming back from it though, so that's why we try not to use it though.
For the stun locks on the enemies.
Oh, it's because they were dead already. Alright. That one was not intentional, but that's okay. At least it took him out. I was trying to do a flip there, and she wouldn't let me.
Yeah, to a certain extent, there's only so fast you can beat the enemies up, especially if they don't cooperate, right?
A little bit of lag there. There we go. See, if I hit, that's one thing we do to kind of counteract that. When we might get hit inside the room, will block, and that'll prevent it from happening. It'll still go inside the room. So that's one thing we do.
Hold it. You're not.
Now the very quote-unquote smart lackey, he's like, this door is super strong. It'll take explosives to open it open. He's like, wait a second.
Explosives acquired.
Very smart lackey. Now we'll get some more trash zombies. One thing I like to find, I just realized earlier is like I mentioned earlier how like we never use weapons.
Now be careful you don't blow
This is one exception, because one is they're kind of pairing both sides, and I think you save a little bit of time because only take 1 damage, and it's kind of fun to throw a volleyball. So that's the one exception we do use a weapon. Now we got 2 more locked rooms. Now we are coming to the. Can you guess what kind of room this is? It's the laundry room, where they launder the money. As you see there, we got all the statues. We have 1/2 of the pendant for the secret boss. All right. Be careful about my health here. Got that gas there, didn't I?
So there's a couple attacks in this game that stun you instead
Yep.
of doing damage. That's one of them.
Yep, and sometimes these cops really like to throw the tear gas around. I was trying to avoid the gas. There we go. Thanks. One more explosive. This will be our last locked room, too.
Another explosive. Let's go. But I've never been in a
It's out of the way.
Kyoko, but fine.
Sure enough. There we go.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's what optimal looks like right there.
Yep. Exactly.
And it's up to the enemies whether or not they cooperate.
Right. And if I press the right button, then I did a punch there I wasn't trying to do. Oh, that is it. Okay. For a moment there, like, I thought that was it. I thought I saw one more enemy. Oh, there we go. See, there's the getting hit by the enemies when you try to enter the door. And I don't get these trash cans. It's so against the aesthetic of the room, you know? They put a random trash cans. I think it's just putting them in your way. And missed the jump there. All right. So now we have all of our explosives. I don't want to pick that up.
Objects being annoying.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Explosives planted.
So
the heck
explosives are
outta
planted,
here.
and the lackey just stands there, and yeah. Again, very smart lackey. And here's the last boss of the game, Sabuko, and she is the daughter of Sabu. Yeah, because Sabu is in jail. There we go. In between the phases, she'll send out some minions, which I think is kind of ironic because if you watch the cutscene, she's like, I don't need no minions. But then she sends them out anyway.
Only when you start losing. You
Yeah.
call up the strat.
What's funny is if I don't kill them in time, she'll just kill them anyway. Which might happen here. Yep, there we go. There we go, one cycle. There we go, nice. That went well. I hate when she does this, because she'll summon them right underneath you. There we go.
Hey.
And that is, you think, is the end?
But
No, one more part.
the ultimate strat, adding an extra bar to your health.
Yep. Another nice lucky intermission there.
Not cooperating.
Ah, missed it. There we go. Now that would be the end of the game if we didn't fulfill our incentive. But we're going to skip to the scenes and then we're going to go and do the secret boss as we fulfill the incentive. So thank you again for the donations.
Thank you guys.
So basically, if you let this go on, they fall into the sauna and you find out the boys weren't kidnapped. And they're like, who are these girls? And so if you play the game, that seems kind of confusing because they risked their lives. You know, they thought their boyfriends were kidnapped. But that's where the secret boss comes in. It changes. Okay, here. Okay. And I I made that mistake earlier. You can play any character, even if you play single player. And I didn't press. I needed to press twice to the right, not once. And I gotta be careful there because if I just pressed A right away, that would take us to New Game Plus, and we definitely don't want that. So now we go back up in the tower. We still have to skip this guy. Oh, higher there. There we go. I think I had jumped there earlier. I would have been too low. Now, before we go inside, we have a couple accessories to equip. Now, we get to do the secret boss. And who is it? That's Hasabe and Nami, the rival girls.
Well, well, look who it is.
So we get to fight them now as a pair.
Time to kill? You bet.
Got the first cycle there. Now, most of the attacks are relatively easy to avoid, but you kind of notice that the attacks that they do are the same ones as Kyoko and Hasabe do, or Kaiko and Masako do, sorry. And if you do let them, jeez, like that. And I actually meant to go to continue, and I've actually haven't lost to them in a while. But if you let that hit them really hard, like full on, and I can take a lot of damage out still.
One more try.
I got this.
You got it.
I got some food too, so. Oh, I don't want to make sure these are still equipped. Yeah. And also I forgot, you can actually change the accessories once the boss starts.
Well, well, look who it is. Time to kill? You bet.
All right.
So like, you unlock a couple of accessories throughout the run. Only a couple of them are useful. The ones we use are the ones that give you dexterity, which makes you move faster, and then there's two that give you a 5% damage boost when fighting a certain either female or male enemies.
Okay.
It's okay, you bought lots of those on you.
Yeah. All right, there we go. I got this. Okay, didn't do that much. See, if you get hit her. Alright, I got to. Now we're in the next phase. Basically, this ball will run around. We gotta run to the corner, which will avoid the little hearts that come out, and I just gotta jump occasionally.
Easy, not even close.
Not sure there's a way to avoid that yet, because I've actually been doing this boss not that long, so, and not many people have been doing this boss that long either, so it's kind of relatively new to people to be running it.
Generally, the category for new game is to do up to Sabuko.
Yep.
As soon as you hit the last hit, that's the end of the run. But this is a boss that you can do, so this is generally new stuff.
Got that just in time, because I think I would have died again.
Right, you're fine, you got this. Look at that.
Yep. Alright, one more phase.
Of course.
Yep, just like the regular end boss. And, yep, we killed one, and then the other one, basically one becomes invertible, and we just gotta take out the ghost here. Oh, is it? And you can attack Mommy here, but it doesn't do any damage. You can knock her down. That's all I'll do, though. One more hit here. Basically, when I hit her here, that's time.
Time.
So a little interest there. If you play multiplayer, whenever your guys goes down, the little ghost comes up. You stomp them back into the ground, they'll come back up.
No fair!
So
You cheated!
basically, I'm not sure if we have how much time we have.
By beating us up! Face it, rejects.
We
We're
got
the
time
ones
just for a
Cuneo and Ricky
few
love.
quick.
Yeah,
Okay.
admit it!
Basically, I can skip to the end here. Basically, they're like, they barely remember you. You were in a 16.
Stated
No.
that for like one 16-bit game.
It wasn't even released in the USA!
So yeah, that's why you don't remember them.
Obscure.
You wanna fight again?
Now let's
Fine.
because it's still we got a couple minutes. We'll show the little quick ending. It's a little bit better of an ending. It'll take about a minute.
This was a bad idea, wasn't it? Not our smartest plan. Maybe if we twist our bodies just as we land, we can... Hey, we're not dead. No, but we're gonna be sore tomorrow. I wonder what happened to Hasabe and... Ah! What is it, Kyoko?
Oh, man, you were right, Ricky. A trip to the spa is just what we needed.
I agree, Cuneo. It is relaxing.
Huh? It's girls! Look away!
Spas for men only.
Cuneo! You big dummy, we've been looking all over for you! We thought you were kidnapped, Ricky Poo!
Kidnapped? As if. What made them think that?
And so a little bit of an ending here.
Come on, let's get out of here.
That makes a good ending.
Starving. Let's get a Merv burger. You girls want to join us?
Oh, it's a little bit good ending.
It's the good ending.
All right, thank you so much for watching, you guys. It was a great run. I got to show off this wonderful game. I want to say thanks to Capitano here for helping commentate, and thank you to the River City Girls speedrunning community, A.T. Goham, Jolton, David It's David Gore. Sorry, I'm messing up your name. It's a great community, and looking forward to doing this more and getting this done more. So thank you so much for watching,
Thank you, guys.
It's been fun.
All right. Thank you very much for that run. Next up, we have Jack 2. And just want to do a quick shout out. So we have Way Forward in our Twitch chat right now, giving us nice little tidbits on the game. Thanks for joining and watching from, I believe it was Adam from Way Forward. And we will have Mighty Switch Force tomorrow, too. That's also from Way Forward. Great devs, great games. Stay tuned for Jack 2.